Oh, you just pressed play on This Week with Drunk Astrology. My name is Graham Breitenstein. I'm your astrologer and the creator of Drunk Astrology. If you're looking for someone to make astrology make sense to you and for you, well, my friend, you have come to the right place. Here on this podcast, we discuss the weekly cosmic weather. And when we break it down, we break it down. I believe that astrology can be used as a tool to inform your daily decisions and enhance your day-to-day life. So if you're ready to have a hell of a lot of fun with astrology, make some strategic decisions, and to just keep it real, well, that journey starts right now.
Wait, a bitch needs some space. I'm like a alien to these basics. I'll melt they brains. Get out my way, bitches. So tell me, do we gotta fight? One look at me and they call it a night. I will not bark at you, but I will bite. I will not bark at you, but I will bite. Yikes. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm just such a baddie and I'm cute too. Drive these fellas crazy, now they cuckoo. Put his head up under my new tutu. Until I ooh, she's a bad Cruella, I'm hella rich. Mad Cruella, don't take no shit. Bad Cruella, I'm hella rich. Mad Cruella, don't take no shit. Cruella, I'm hella rich. Don't you know that I'm that bitch? I can make something new and fresh, that's right. Bitch, I'm the best. Every day my haters stay pressed. 'Cause I got dressed. Doing my thing, don't take request. Bitch, I'm too blessed. Topping these charts in Bangladesh, Ladesh. Bitch, no regrets. That's right. If these haters wanna try me, if these bitches wanna try me, they can go to the left. Everything you own, I don't give a mother trucking shit. That is a word. That's a word. Now, of course, that last little bit was all me. That was not Queen Herbie, whose song Cruella that was at the top of this. Happy New Week, folks. It is the podcast for the week of August 7th through the 13th, 2023. And let's just say this about this week. Venus is our headliner. She is the girl we gotta talk about the most this week. The overall vibe, so much Venusian themes are all over this week. Okay, we got relationships, we got partnerships, we've got financials, we've got desire nature. Everything Venusian that we know to be our girl Venus, it's up this week. It's all the way up. We've got a quarter moon in Taurus. So hello, Taurus and the Libras to the front. Venus is your ruling planet. She's currently retrograde. She might be making you crazy right now. She might be revealing things to you. This is everybody, but Taurus and Libras, you're probably getting the whispers a lot louder than the rest of us. Just in case you need that little reminder, or you are feeling crazy and you're feeling like some things are like coming up, like where's this coming from? Why is this? Your girl, your ruling planet is like, bitch, I'm right here. Listen. That little worry you've got going on, that little concern you have going on, whether it's about a VIP relationship, a partner, a collaboration, a professional work thing, listen up. She's knocking on your door. She's tapping on that shush shoulder and like trying to get your attention. Listen to what is coming up, everybody. Mercury is also, I don't want to get off on a tangent, but Mercury is also in his retrograde shadow, and he is also whispering to you. Things are coming up that need to be seen, recognized, and dealt with. And this week, we're getting a double down on that. All right. quarter moon in Taurus, because of course Venus retrograde is all wrapped up into that. We've got the second of Venus's square to Uranus. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And we've got the Venus star point at the end of the week. The Sun and Venus retrograde come into their inferior conjunction. Conjunction meaning they meet up in the same sign, same degree. While retrograde, it's an inferior conjunction, which means she's closer to Earth. She turns into a morning star when she is in this Venus-Lucifer position. Okay, now I know that when we all hear Lucifer, we're like, evil, devil, the demon. But did you know that Lucifer translates to light bearer? All right? If you didn't know that, that's the vibe. So with the Venus star point, we get these about every 8-ish months. Now, back in October, on October 22nd of 2022, the Sun and Venus met up, but while Venus was moving direct, and she goes into her Venus Hesperus, where she is an evening star. So let's just reflect back from end of October last year up until the end of this week. Venus is more passive, receptive. She takes longer to process emotions and her response to things. That's been the vibe. It's a yin energy. It's full moon, revelation, but I'm now going to take my time to process what I'm feeling. Now, meeting up in the Venus star point this Sunday, Sun with Venus retrograde going into the morning star mode. Well, now she's in a new moon vibe where she's manifesting, she's planting, and she's taking action. She's taking strategic action. She's more assertive. So now the vibe is going to switch collectively. This is global consciousness, and I want you to be very in tune with yourself to see where you feel that switch of, I'm tired of waiting, I'm tired of processing, I'm tired of moving slow. When it comes to what you want, Venus is our desire nature, right? So when it comes to what you're after, the passive thing, this week, we're going to get a little preview now because we have some hits. But Venus is still in her evening star mode until we get to Sunday. That's when the switch happens. So I want you to pay attention to where you're feeling like, you know what? The slow thing, not really cutting it. I need speed. I need action. So if you are in one of these frustrating dynamics right now, whether it's just any relationship across the board, whether it's at work, whether it's with a partner or with a friend or family member, wherever you are feeling the itch to like speed things up, give it this week. It might be difficult. I'm not even going to lie to you. It might be difficult this week to practice patience, but I am trying to look out for the other side, saying to give them this week to like get that last little bit figured out, whatever this last coming together is, because we're in retro shade of it all. Venus already there, Mercury slowing down. The overall speed of the zeitgeist is kind of in a pause. It's not that things aren't moving forward, they are, but at a slower clip. As of Sunday, when Venus hits the Sun and they switch the vibe, next week I imagine we're gonna start seeing more action, more speed. We're gonna definitely have some highlights this week with actions to be taken, but it might not all come together just yet. So before you go cuckoo, like the song I sang or rapped, before you go cuckoo, I want you to consider, is it possible that this week I can we're under the Aquarius full moon, I can kind of detach and give it to next week before I really start my movement, my like, okay, not cutting it anymore, gotta go? And or is this more evening star energy that we're still in this week as we build up to Sunday? Is it more like a soft approach would help you right now and might help the receiving end of the conversation? Does it need to be a soft approach? Does it need to be a more stabby, punchy, like, yo, this is what I need? If you're in the more stabby, punchy, my needs are my needs, this is what I want, this is what I'm after, and you're playing in my face, I would say you are likely going to see more positive results next week. If it is a more softer approach and you are in the space, especially at the top of the week, to clear up any emotional or relational issues, then you are supported by Venus retrograde while she's in her evening star position for all this week up until Sunday. Okay? So all week long, we're working with this Venusian energy, and it's in a way that is stressful and action-oriented. But until she makes that Venus star point on Sunday, she is in more of a reflective space. She is in more of taking her time, processing things at a slower clip. She's also retrograde, so everything is slower than we would normally like. Mercury as well, slowing down. Not that he's retrograde, because he's not. He's not until the 23rd of this month. But he is starting, he's like pressing on the brakes. So we're in the preview phase with Mercury. What all do I need to talk about? What all do I need to clean up? What's messy? What do I got to get tidied up? Whether that's your physical space or whether that's a relationship space, a connection. That's also coming up here this week with that riding the brake kind of thing. But all week long, we're working through relationship struggles, dynamics, in a way that is more like, let's clear up the emotional space. When it comes to the action space or the actions needed to fix or create solutions, if an action is necessary to create a solution, those actions are likely going to be next week or after. Starting from next week and then looking at the 8 months ahead. Because now, zeitgeist-wise, after the Venus star point forms on Sunday, we go full steam ahead, where in morning star mode, Venus and how we approach love and harmony and relationships, partnerships, connections in general, desire nature, how we make money, grow money, it gets more assertive, it's more go-getting, it's eager, it's more resilient, it's spontaneous. So there's the action clip. So this is the last little week that we have Venus in this softer position. But lately, I've been hearing from friends and family and colleagues and people that vendors that carry my products and all of that. The passive thing ain't cutting it. And if you are in that space, you're not alone. Let me tell you that. You're not alone. After the Venus star point, we're going to see an energy shift. Okay? Also this week, I'm going to move on because we're going to look at things individually. So I don't want you to think we're just like completely dipping out. We're not. Also this week, we have the 8/8 Lionsgate portal. And you might be like, well, what is that? Well, every year on August 8th, which is, of course, the 8th month, on the 8th day, there is this Lionsgate portal. The sun is in Leo, ruled by the sun, so it's in its happy position. And this is when, oh gosh, there's all this like cosmic nerdery around this. But Orion's belt is involved, the Sirius constellations involved, Earth is involved. It's all these alignments that come together in science, in astronomy and astrology. And the astrological spin on this is a high-frequency portal that opens up. It climaxes on August 8th every single year, hence 8/8. And this is ripe time for optimism, for manifestation, for strength, for courage, for pride. I really want you to think all things Leo, because this is the vibe. And so wherever you're wanting more strength, wherever you need to feel more courageous and more proud of yourself, of your contributions to the world, to relationships, to society, to work, and also this opportunity to really step back and say, what am I feeling like I need to be hyper aware of in my surroundings? Remember how last week I said, like, the more intuitive message was don't underestimate the power of your pack? Perhaps this Lionsgate, after last week, which I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for my pack last week, I don't know what I would have done. It was a rough week, as predicted in this podcast last week. This is your astrologer here. Had a very rough week. Very. Part of that song selection at the top of this podcast was because inspiration was setting down some ground rules and setting a boundary. Let's just say that. Because I'm not going to sit here and take shit from people that don't know shit. Anyway, neither here nor there. But perhaps with this Lionsgate, you're coming into it more aware of your pack. And what's working? Who's working? Who's maybe acting a bit different than you expected? Maybe there have been moments revealed to you, especially with Venus retrograde. She's pausing, she's reflecting, she's unearthing, she's showing you things that you need to see. And now this Lionsgate portal says, okay, what am I hyper aware of? What can I not unsee? And now what do I do with that information? Well, the Lionsgate says you manifest more of what you do appreciate. You manifest more relationships that are like the ones in your pack that are beautiful, that are harmonious, that are blessed, that make you feel supported, that make you feel more, that you have unlimited resources of strength and courage and pride. And hey, how about how we talk to ourselves and owning what we want and need? Leo is all about me, me, me. Now, on the good side of that, that's being very aware and very vocal about this works for me, this does not work for me. Now, does the bad side, the bad form, low form of Leo need to understand compromise? Yes. Does it need to understand how its wants and desires affect others? Yes. But positive side is that awareness of this is what I need. And if you need something, then you damn straight you need to be vocal about what you need. And with Venus as the planetary headliner this week, do not be ashamed this week to vocalize what you need, to say this works, this doesn't. I had a client reach out to me, as a client/friend reach out to me about, do I call this off? Because X, Y, and Z took place, and I don't think that I can do this now. But if retrograde is here, I'm unsure. No. Let me tell you something. One, it's in the stars this week that if it's over, it's over. It ain't cutting it. It's not working. Okay, Venus retrograde, when things like this come up, she is revealing. It is the revelation of this has always been here. This dynamic has always been here. And you've had hiccups way before, maybe even before you were aware of astrology and on this podcast or otherwise. This has always been there. Now you are just seeing it again because it's coming back. It's like a boomerang. It goes away and then it comes back. And then it goes away and then it comes back. If relationship dynamics right now are not, if you are in a position where you're like, I can't take this anymore. This is not cool. How you handle something, how you respond to something is not conducive to how I want to be in relationship or partnership. Do not be surprised if you hear about people leaving relationships. Don't be surprised if you hear people quitting. That's been in the Venus retrograde, been doing things. I've been seeing that a lot. People leaving positions, leaving jobs, leaving relationships. It's time. It is time to acknowledge what you want, what you need, and whether or not, and to take stock and inventory of if that is what you've got. And if you don't have that right now, you're going to be hard pressed to find another time where it is not hard pressed to find another time, because it is like a boomerang. You're going to be hard pressed and more stressed by not taking action on what you're feeling. Okay? Now, I gave you the preview with Venus next week. Action does come next week. Okay? But if this is where let me just say this. These are general readings first and foremost, okay? I can't obviously look at every single person's chart and say this is what's going on. This is what's in the zeitgeist. So I don't want anyone out there to be like, oh my gosh, I guess I have to stay in this shitty relationship because next week something's going to change. No, you're changing. You're changing. Okay? And if you're changing into a version of yourself that is more aware of your needs, aware of your wants, and where they are and are not getting met, that's what you honor. You do not say, well, what if, astrology said action's going to take place and so I guess I just have to sit and chill. No. Astrology's not an excuse. It's a tool. It's a guide map. Okay? The action, I would say, is you getting the hell up out of Dodge. You moving on. This week creates space. And that's why I say don't be surprised if in the zeitgeist we hear about breakups, we hear about job leaving, people quitting left and right, or just changing directions. Don't be surprised, okay? Some of this is coming in offers too. Very much so, an offer can be placed under this energy. I like to be thorough, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this is not overwhelming anyone. But remember that astrology is a tool. It is general in this format because I cannot obviously have looked at everyone's chart. But if the zeitgeist is this week is relationship, partnership, desire, money, cleanup, and we're preparing for this Venus Lucifer, this light bearer, this assertive go-getter nature. Look at this week as the last week to clean up any muck that could be standing in your way for that go mode. Okay? All right. Now, now that I've gone on a 13 minute Venus tirade, but she is the headliner, so we got to talk about it. Let's just get into some quick newsboard items. I hope that my daily dosers, if you don't know, A Daily Dose of Stars is my daily podcast. It's subscription-based. There's a link in the show notes. If you are interested, please scroll up on this episode page that you're currently on and click that link for a daily dose. You'll get all the information. It's the same price as 1.5 Starbucks lattes per month. Okay, so it's astro cosmic guidance gold. But I am seeing that a lot of daily dosers appreciated their surprise. All daily dosers, just so you know, received a monthly overview with all the hot dates, what to expect, what to do, what not to do. So they get a nice overview of what this month brings. August is a big month, and you can hear that a lot in astrology, especially with all the social media stuff. Like, this is such a big month. This is so transformational. That stuff honestly drives me crazy. When I say it's a big month, it's because I'm looking at every aspect and I see there are a lot of hoodamarinks, a lot of switcheroos. There's a lot of momentum. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of changing, like about face. It's a lot of energy. So all daily dosers got that monthly overview complete with dates, and I love all of you that reached out and sent me a message, an email, as a DM. They were all received. I'm so glad that you're happy. I'm glad that you took your notes and circled your dates. And if you're a daily doser and you didn't listen to that, I highly encourage you to go back to August 1st episode because you have a nice little surprise there waiting for you. Last little thing on news board is the vision boarding exercise for the full moon. Last week's Aquarius full moon is taking place this Wednesday on Instagram Live. Time will be announced through the newsletter. So if you're not on the newsletter, again, I encourage you to press pause, scroll up on this episode page, click the link for the Cosmic News Train, and put your email in there. Because that's where all the goodies, the vision board template that I created using manifestation techniques along with the Feng Shui Bagua map was sent to everyone on the newsletter. If you are just now signing up for the newsletter and you want that vision board template, contact me. Again, link in the show notes. But I apologize. I put this on Instagram, but I apologize for not hosting Hump Day Hangover last week and not doing the vision board with you then. It was an extremely rough week. There was a lot of things coming at me. There was a lot of projection coming at me last week. There was a lot of WTF this, and you should be doing this, and this should be going that way, and what do you not. There was only a handful of people that really were like, how are you? I'm feeling empathy towards you. And it was a lot of F this, F that, you said this, and layers. It was a very layered week, and I needed to not force myself through. Like the hardcore Virgo in me would just, typically push through, work through, and deal with it later. And I took my own advice and said, you know what? No. Instead of trying to push past it, work around it, I'm going to work with it, lean into it, acknowledge what's happening, and acknowledge what I need. And I did just that. So I apologize sincerely for not hosting the vision board exercise with you on Instagram Live. We will do it this week. And what's great is that it's right after the quarter moon, which is that midway point between the full moon and the following new moon that's coming up. Okay, so thank you for your patience. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for supporting me always. I appreciate everybody that presses play on this, that follows, that's on the newsletter, daily doses. I appreciate every last bit of that. Okay, so now why don't we go ahead and talk about the moons this week? We are in the, let me see, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Yeah, we are in the first quadrant. We're in go mode. So we start the week off with a Taurus moon on Monday all day, Tuesday all day, and then Wednesday that Taurus moon goes, let's see. Yeah, it switches into Gemini early in the day. So we start the week, that Taurus moon, very grounded, relationship oriented. You see another reason why Venus is the headliner. The first 2.5 days of this week, we're in a Venus-ruled sign. Taurus moon's great for partnership, harmony, balance, work, financial flow. We do have the quarter moon on Tuesday, so that's the opportunity to clear up emotional/relational issues, and even when it comes to financials. So keep that in mind. That is all supported by Venus retrograde, so use that as an opportunity, as a nice little point to say, like, this is good, this is not, this is, again, also for creativity, any artists out there, great to say, like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. This works, this doesn't, etc., etc. Then and Taurus moon's also great for good, wholesome food. So if you're going to, like, treat yourself, any luxury kind of moments, taking your time, Monday, Tuesday, early Wednesday. Then the moon switches into Gemini for the rest of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, until the afternoon. Gemini moons now switch the energy to chatty Cathy's. It's time to communicate. It's time to move. It's time to be busy. It's time to be buzzy. Contracts, deals, negotiations, agreements can be made, whether they are written or verbal. That's the vibe of the Gemini moon. So if you're going to, like, have a meeting, if you're going to discuss, let's see, it could be a really clarifying few days. That Wednesday, Thursday, half of Friday can be clarifying conversations that are moving you forward, that you're just understanding more of the relationship, the dynamic, the deals, the details of something. Wednesday, Thursday, early Friday, good for that. Then we've got the moon for the rest of the week in the sign of Cancer. So Cancer, rest of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now we're home is where the heart is. We're more soft. We're more sentimental. We're more sensitive, yes. But it is more of a go where it feels good kind of moon, right? So if the week proves to be as busy as the astrology suggests, then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday, good to kind of rest, respite, be with loved ones, whoever makes your heart feel warm and cozy and you feel supported and stable and connected. Great for this weekend. Okay, now let's just get to the planetary action. As I said, Tuesday the 8th is the Lionsgate portal. Manifestation is ripe for the taking. Remember, it's a high frequency for awareness, strength, courage, pride, your wants, your needs. Me in a sweetly selfish way, manifesting under that Lionsgate. Plus, it's the same day as the Taurus quarter moon, where you're clearing up emotional relational issues supported by Venus retrograde. It's just so much Venus in there, so much Leo in there. So take pride for what you want. Take pride of what your needs are. Own them, honor them, manifest more pack members. If you're looking for that, if you're looking for a relationship, if you're looking for friends or more supportive family, manifest that. Call that in. It's available to you. On Wednesday, we have the second Venus-Uranus squares at 4:08 a.m. Pacific. All the times I give you in this podcast are Pacific Standard, so make sure you adjust for your time zones. So with the Venus-Uranus square, while Venus is retrograde, this is hit number 2, which means we have to go back to the top of July when Venus first hit Uranus. Now, Uranus is, of course, the change agent, and he can be a heavy hitter. So that you could have had relational stress, you could have had financial stress at the top of July. So I really want you to go like last day of June, July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. In that range, I want you to look where was there any stress, where was there relational issues, financial issues, desire issues, something that you wanted, getting kicked on the chin. This is now the second, this is the follow-up. This is the next hit. More reflective, more just like, okay, let's revisit. So this is a revisiting, kind of like a reuniting, maybe a reconnection, maybe a follow-up conversation. That is very much on the gamut with this. The next time, the clarifying, here's how we're moving forward conversation doesn't take place until September 23rd, when Venus is now in forward motion. Also on Wednesday, Mercury, in his retrograde shadow, trines Jupiter at 5:47 p.m. This is so positive. This can be an offer. This is a way to expand, to move yourself forward, to glow up, to grow up, to learn more, to change, this is a connection. So if you do have some kind of meeting that you want to take place this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, honestly. Monday for other reasons. That we'll be covering that and how to exactly work with that on the Daily Dose. But Mercury with Jupiter on Wednesday is great conversation, is a forward-moving conversation. This is number 1, right? So now number 2 is going to be September 4th, and then the third and final clarifying conversation about growth, expansion, forward-moving is September 25th. Okay, so this is the beginning of a trend with Mercury's upcoming retrograde on Wednesday. On Friday, a little bit of a hit on the chin. We have Mars in Virgo, quincunx to Chiron. That is one of those eye roll aspects. So you might get hit. You might feel like a little puncture wound, a little like, ouch. It didn't go the way I wanted it to go. It wasn't exactly, this kind of hurts my feelings. I feel like this is a setback. It's not a setback because the next day, Saturday the 12th, the sun comes into a trine with Chiron. This is juicy, collaborative. That can be an offer. It can be, ouch, this hurt. You might get hit a little ouchy on Friday, but Saturday there is a recovery. There's a hug. There's a good vibe, good warm sensation on Saturday following that. So Friday and Saturday have connections. Whatever hurts on Friday feels better on Saturday. Sunday, like we've discussed, is the Venus star point taking place at 20 degrees of Leo. Again, an inferior conjunction, meaning that Venus is closest to Earth than she is the sun. Okay, light bearer, assertive, go-getter, eager, resilient, spontaneous. Time to go. Last little fun thing with the Venus star point. Are you curious to know if in your chart you have a Venus morning star energy or if you have a evening star energy, which is the more passive, yin, receptive, takes longer to process emotions? Then the way to look, take a look at your chart, and if you don't have your chart, in the show notes there is a link to my birth chart calculator. Pull your chart, and it's okay if you don't have the time, just use noon as your time because it won't affect the sun and Venus like it does your moon and rising. So you're going to pull your chart and you're going to take a look. Is Venus behind the sun? Meaning if the sun is in Virgo, like in my chart, sun's in Virgo, but Venus is in Leo, that means Venus is behind the sun. So that is a morning star expression. So if you look and say the sun's in Virgo, but Venus is in Libra, now she is ahead of the sun. She is an evening star. More passive, more yin, more receptive. I don't think any listener of this podcast is surprised to hear that I have a morning star with how assertive I am. I'm a go person, okay? I can flow, but it's a little more difficult. I like action. I want to see it happen. I don't want to sit with it too long. I want to be like, yes, you found the nugget of wisdom, now go. That's morning star Venus. So you just take a look And you can kind of get a little bit of more understanding with what your connection nature is. I am fast to make new friends. I am fast to talk to people out in the world. That's more morning star. Venus is how we connect. Evening star people are going to make friends a little bit slower. They're going to take their time. They're probably going to suss out. They're probably a little bit more guarded, a little more protective of their energy, protective of their space. Not that they can't open up, obviously, but it just takes a little bit longer. Okay, so with that, I leave you. I hope you have a phenomenal week. I know we went a little long, but it's a big turning point week, and I wanted you to be guarded with all the information I could give you. Have a phenomenal week. I'll see you in your inbox. Get on that newsletter. I'll see you on Wednesday for Hump Day Hangover, vision boarding, and throughout the week just in other ways on social media. All right? Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye.
This is Graham Breitenstein, and you've been listening to This Week with Drunk Astrology. If you want to follow Drunk Astrology, head to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and hit that follow button. And if you want to learn how to put astrology in motion for you, head to drunkastro.com and get on the insider list. If you haven't already, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Google platforms. Tune in next week for yet another opportunity to work in sync with the stars. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.